Premiership, and it has been tough for Kaizer Chiefs as Gumete's goal separates the two sides there. Swelele and Stellenbosch, nothing to show after 90 minutes of blood, sweat and toil between those two sides. Galaxy tried to come back in the second half, but it's Orbit College who ease the pain a little bit at the bottom of the table. This is what the log standings look like. No movement as far as Chiefs are concerned. And this was that opportunity for them to make strides and move up to the third position, but they have not done that. Galaxy, even though they were unable to get a victory today, still remain in that 8th position. And then if we look at the bottom of the table, Orbit College are out of the bottom 2. Maruma Gallants move into that. And remember, Alexander Lafitte has been put on a suspension at Maruma Gallants as coach of that side. And one of the reasons in the statement that they put out was that results just not coming their way. So it is all happening at the bottom of the table of the Betway Premiership. But let's just talk a little bit about what has just taken place here. And coach, I know when you look at Coach Cedric Kazi, you can see that ngathi kuyabheda manje man.
It's betting pedong. Kuyabheda kamampela like and betting pedong.
So it's not just betting.
Yeah, because you are trying different players to bring in kuyabheda. Ukuthi kulunge akuvele kubhede wes. Ama injury aba wes because even the young Shinga comes on for his debut, he plays a pass and then he's off. And I think he had a decent game at left back. And 11 Chiefs, the way badlala ngakhona for a youngster that is coming in, it looks and feels as if he's been playing with Chiefs for so long. Which means good 11 is not that high. You know, so for me, I look at that and I'm questioning Guti, what is really happening at Chiefs? Is it the training methods? Is it the playing methods? Because here it could have easily gone to 2-0. And it doesn't go to 2-0 simply because Uvuma makes these brilliant saves. He was that live wire.
A double save in the first half, Jimmy, and then a triple save. Yeah, I mean, that is unbelievable goalkeeping from Vuma. He tried to keep his team in this game.
Yeah, and that is purely because I think it starts from the building blocks. You have a defensive structure that is new to one another. Cross and Aiden have never played together, center backs. Shinga comes in, he's also new in the team. Vuma, this is his second game after a long spell and he's coming in, having lost against Orlando Pirates. So the confidence is quite low. You have Mteto coming in, playing next to Maboe. They're also not gelling. Velebai was a live wire coming in against Pirates. Today was nowhere to be found, purely because of that movement that I touched on today and say, when Chisel goes to his side, he isolates him and it imbalances the team.
But there are injury and especially now defensive potentially crisis at Kaizer Chiefs. When you look at what happened today, McCarthy, he will not play in the next encounter. Mtetwa, suspended in the next game. Shinga, his injury is likely to be a very serious one. Miguel has picked up a knock. Msimangu also not available. Peterson out with appendicitis. That Chiefs defense is looking makeshift, Jimmy. As much as I know you aren't happy with what you've seen today, there are real problems for the two coaches defensively.
And of course, I think when against Pirates, Miguel went off, he got injured. He was out. A game like this, you don't even make him part of the starting 11 because Chancellor is going to break down again.
But here's the thing that doesn't help, right? Is McCarthy's yellow card is kind of self-made. You know, he's sitting on 3 yellows already. He must be aware of the fact that there's defensive issues at the club. You can't be throwing the ball on the ground, complaining. You're going to get a booking, you miss the next game. If you look at Ox's yellow card, similar situation where no need for him to be sticking out a hand and getting a yellow card that now means he misses the next game.
Yeah, the game has left him a lot behind, Ox, because he doesn't have the tonus. The reaction time is a bit slow. Even when he has the ball trying to run with the ball, he loses it easy. Because you look at moments like this, look at him, and normally he would have dropped and centered, but he doesn't drop and center, and look at that. If he drops and centers, he'll block the passing lane himself, but instead, Ohambi Singalo in the box, that's a red card, and that's also a penalty. He's lucky he's off the field. in the field, not in the penalty. But also Yabashot Disemidlilin, because now he's not gonna allow Mabue to play and go forward, because as a defensive midfielder, -1 in the next game. And it's not just him, it's him and McCarthy now that have yellow cards. And that's the spine that Chiefs is trying to fix. Pesgue instability banai.
And I've got to give it to you guys. Your eye is very good, because when Shinga falls, you immediately identify it as potentially a hamstring or a Achilles tendon injury. Watch here. Shinga makes the pass. It comes back to him. And, you know, Jimmy, when a player falls by himself with no one else around him.
Yeah, I know. You know, you only wish it's not an Achilles.
It is.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hearing.
Because from there, it's curtains when it comes to.
It almost always is. Mawawi one.
Yeah, I know, when you fall by yourself. But you know, look, it's unfortunate for him. It's his debut game, and he gets to experience this injury. But this also speaks to the loading of this team. Against Pirates, there was about 4 players who went down with cramps. Aiden McCarthy was one of them. Miguel was one of them. Mabue was one of them. It tells you of the overloading of the players.
It's a hectic schedule. You're playing CAF.
No.
You're playing domestic football.
Then you manage the load, because it means the game fitness is what you need. You don't need to overload the players, because they're going to break down as they are. I mean, for Shinga you can see that he's been training so much that the tempo of the game puts him over the hill.
But Jimmy, you had 5 players coming into the lineup today. So those are 5 players who didn't play in the Soweto derby. Half the team was fresh.
Yeah, but you also had some of those players who played against Stellenbosch on Tuesday. At a high-tempo game against Orlando Pirates, they're obviously going to break.
There's a lot that goes into conditioning. It doesn't only stop with physical conditioning, tactical conditioning as well, because if you have good tactical conditioning for your team, it's easy to replace like for like. So other players are overloaded tactically, technically, and also physically. And Mabue, for me, when he's going to pick up an injury, he's going to be out for longer because he's playing in a position that is demanding for him to be tracking, going back so much compared to him being an attacking midfielder. He goes, helps the centre backs. He's there making a tackle. He's there starting the game. He's the one that links up play as well. And now you go back and ask Guti, what did the preseason look like? You know, no shot on target against Pirates.
And that's a couple of the tweets coming through here mentioning no shots on target.
And against Orlando Pirates, also in the first half, no shot on target. So it's continuing, whereas they're a team that is creating so much, but nothing goes on target. It means they're taking a box to say, okay, at least we are creating it. It shouldn't be at least, because scoring only 16 when you are vying for the league title, it's not enough. And also equality economic team le makes it difficult for them to even scrape for results when they're not playing well.
Let's take a look at those stats and confirm it for you. Some of our viewers are already letting the cat out of the bag in terms of what the numbers looked like for this match. And then we'll look at the goal that Richards Bay scored. 2 attempts, Jimmy. I mean, look at Richards Bay. 12. 8 on target. Vuma was a busy man. And to be fair, we didn't see Otieno.
Yeah, look, one has to give credit to Richards Bay. They took advantage of a very vulnerable Chiefs team that is low on confidence. And also structurally, they're so disorganized. You know, you look at the chance that they missed on the 90th minute. There was only 2 defenders left there. You know, and it just shows you of the lack of discipline in the structure.
But here's the chance, right? Chiefs get into the box. Lilepo has a half opportunity here. The tackle comes in, and then this is going to end up in the back of the net on the other side.
The question is, what when Ndu was in going into the box, what was happening at the back?
Cross misses it.
Because defending doesn't start there. It starts when you're in possession. So by the time they lose possession, now they're in disarray at the back. They are reacting to every situation. And as a result of that, all those spaces are now starting to open up. And when Cross makes that mistake, it now leaves only 2 defenders at the back. Mtetwa comes in there to try and salvage the situation. Vuma is now forced to do what? To leave his line, to try and make the angle a bit tighter for Gumede. Gumede just...
Mara, Jimmy, you know that, like, it's not even a pass.
No,
I mean, I'm saying the first pass,
when
it's just
no, but when you're in possession, yeah, at the back, you should be organizing yourself.
Then here.
Because if you lose possession, you cannot now be reacting. Now the centre back comes in, he misses that header. Cross makes a blunder.
If Cross stays on his feet, it makes life even more easier. And if Ox also doesn't rush to dive into a tackle, if he goes, slows down, drop and center to slow the player down, it makes so principles of defending for each Chiefs. Pes go to City defense here, but it disjointed. Even individual tactics he knew how to defend.
But
is difficult.
when you look at the numbers, they deserved a goal. I mean, if you're going to have 12 shots, 8 of them be on target, cause the kind of pressure that they caused them, Vuma, that was just reward for the effort that Richards Bay put in today.
Absolutely. It's a continuation. When they played against Orbit in the draw, they're a team that created 13 shots at goal and only 1 on target. They hit the woodwork twice against Orbit. And today, they also hit the woodwork. That shows you it's a continuation of Into Bayens against Orbit. They didn't win, yes, but they continued. And Uzule, even the players, when they were interviewed, to say it was either we win this game or Siololi relegation lessons, because it's so easy to go to the bottom.
Jimmy.
Eish, come.
Padding.
Yeah?
I'll put this here with break.
No. I just want to get a sense from you, though. I mean, you've been inside Kaizer Chiefs. 3 in a row now defeats in the league. That's 4 defeats in the last 5 games. How do they stop it? How do they turn this around? And we've already highlighted the defensive issues, the inability to score. What now?
There are activities that are not football related, where you need to check out of the game a bit. You need more of a group session out of the game to try and recharge. Because every time you lose a game like this and you go back to training, it's an overload of information and the results are not forthcoming. So you need more like a team building kind of session where you take the team out of the routine so that they long
Paintball, Jimmy.
Eh?
Paintball.
No, it works. It works because those players are exhausted. And their minds are then saying, when is this season coming to an end? Because this is also not a good season once again. So to keep taking them and hoping that they will get the result, I can bet you it only gets worse. They need to take a break where their sessions, the workload has been reduced, significantly so. Have sessions where you do activities that are not football related.
We are nodding.
Yes, I am nodding.
You're a coach. You've done it at the highest level.
Yeah. I'm nodding because it's almost like even the best ideas are no longer working because of that overload. So on a mind block, ufunde kakhulu ufundele exam uvela ube ne mind block ama answer akho wakhumbula after say so uqedile ukubhala exam ukuthi yo question 3 and 4 ngwazonke ama answer wakhona, but they because uba ne mind block. So it could be the same thing. And there's so much that has been happening, like Jimmy is saying, in the club, the 2 coaches that are in there, the players, now it's that environment again where the game was demanding so much quality from Chiefs, which they couldn't produce consistently. With playing CAF, they won the Nedbank Cup, playing CAF, and they started well, if you think about it, even when they were not playing enticing, beautiful football, but they were getting results. They didn't get to top 3, top 4 by fluke. They were grinding for those results. But now the balance now to say it's an overload. We are moving from here, we are traveling from there, and Pes Goguti, Leo instability, there's injury, there's so much that is happening. I agree. Take a step back and just train once a week. Train once a week, come in, train once a week. Kusasa kuthiwa i-recovery. Kusasa nje, mele benze recovery manje njengoba igame iqeda ukuphela. Kusasa bahambe day off, a day and a half off. Just go see your families. You hear those coaches that say
That's the solution to what? Bear.
Yeah.
What is that phrase again?
Padding.
Coach.
Badong.
There we go.
So, Coach Short, Orbit College doing the business, and as far as TS Galaxy are concerned, they did not give their coach a very happy 43rd birthday today, because this was the kind of defending that put Orbit College, first and foremost, into a 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, I think once again, we touched on this. Just bad defending from TX Galaxy, failing to clear their lines. And as a result, when the cross comes in, their first line of defense is wrong. They fail again the second cross here. When you look at this, Mbujana could have done much, much better. But now, because of that, everybody's now reacting to try and save the situation. this goal gets Obed in the lead and then puts them rightfully in charge of this game.
Goto scoring here. Couldn't find too many easier finishes than that one. And then look at what happens here defensively as, again, it starts as a back pass that then just gets intercepted. Lesiba finding the back of the net.
Yeah, he finds the back of the net because he reads the situation well to say, okay, Ego is running, he's going to bump into Tape, and let me just shy 13 posts, ngibambi 13 posts yami lizothi bazongipasa, my opponent azongipasa, and it's the second time that Ego misjudges it, because even in the first goal, he pushes off, then he stops along the way. Even here, he's not aware of what's happening behind him, and he makes a tackle, but Utape doesn't help as well with him going out of
But what a signing, Lesedi Kapinga making it 2-0. Then look at what happens here as far as the goal that brings them back into the hunt. Finish. Ngwenya.
Again, failing to clear your lines, not proper communication at the back. And that goal could have just changed the whole tide for Galaxy, because then when Obed goes 2-1 now, they have to defend or look for a third goal. And that could have easily brought back TS Galaxy into that game.
It's now 4 league games in a row for TS Galaxy, where goals have been very difficult for them to come by. Galaxy now, it's looking like, you know, that position in 8th position on the log isn't looking too secure. This is what's still coming up, and tomorrow, Polokwane City face Orlando Pirates. Sundown.